Nikon ZR. What a crazy little camera. I recently got mine. It finally came in and I'm stoked to have it. But it's an interesting little camera. And I keep saying little because it is genuinely little. If you look at my Z8 and the ZR, they are vastly different form factors. And with that, I think there are some serious advantages. I was recently watching a Brandon Talbot video, and he was saying that the ZR had sort of made him think differently about his kit, like the way he packed to go out to do a shoot because of its size. And I have a trip coming up to St. Lucia soon, and it sort of had me in the same sort of, I guess, the same wavelength. I often travel with a Z8, usually my 35 to 150, my 14 to 24, and a few other lenses, but very big lenses. They are not light lenses. Nikon bodies are usually a little bigger, a little more robust than some of the other brands, and just the way they're made, so they're sometimes heavier as well. But I end up with a very heavy pack, especially when we're doing, mountain hikes and whatever. And the ZR has me thinking extremely different on this trip. Instead of this, my 14 to 24, I think I'm just gonna bring this, which is my 20 mil fixed lens from Viltrox. Very, very different in size. I often bring my 35 1.4, which is not a huge lens, but on this one, I think I'm gonna do my 40 f2. A lot smaller, probably half the size, half the weight. And I have a 28 2.8 on here as well. I think the interesting thing about the ZR is the talking points that I've heard are, yes, big screen, red color, 32-bit float, all these things, they're phenomenal. But I think what's cool about the camera is it's incredibly powerful for how small it is. And with the idea of a 20, a 28, a 40, I can capture almost everything I'm going to do on a trip with those tiny lenses, with this tiny camera body, instead of this huge, overly robust setup. Especially a 35 to 150 is just a giant lens. It covers so much territory, but sometimes I think it's almost overkill. And on a trip, I sometimes feel like I have option paralysis, and I think prime lenses, small lenses, everything's compact. It's more about capturing a moment and not forcing something to happen with an overly robust setup. Yes, there's a time and place, I think, for all that stuff. I would genuinely at some point probably have an oversized bag of camera gear again. But I'm thinking on this trip, this really kind of lean and mean setup with the ZR is it really kind of exciting to me, because I feel like I'm not going to be burdened by a giant bag. I'm not sitting in a cafe with a huge pack of camera gear. You could put it in a hoodie pocket if you want, or just have like a side sling or something. But enjoying the time away while still capturing stuff at a high quality, high level is really, really cool to me. So anyways, I don't have any samples on this, but it's just something I've been kind of thinking about with this trip coming up. I'm gonna go out and shoot. It's a very, very snowy day where I am. I may pop out today and try this setup today, but if not, definitely some stuff from St. Lucia coming. But it's just an interesting little camera I think almost its biggest value isn't the little, functions and features it has, but the idea of how you shoot can change, and it doesn't always have to be some sort of crazy, big, elaborate setup. This is a really cool everyday carry with a lot of quality. So anyways, hopefully I'll have some samples soon, but that's just some of my rambling for today.